Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Paul Merson says Gabriel Jesus has taken Arsenal to a different level. Paul Merson has heaped praise on Arsenal star Gabriel Jesus, even though the Brazilian is struggling in front of goal. The 25-year-old joined the Gunners from Manchester City in the summer. He hit the ground running with 5 goals and 3 assists in his first 8 Premier League games, but he hasn't found the net since. Jesus is a sensational player. He really has lifted everyone around him, and his performance against Chelsea last weekend showed just how good a player he is. The 25-year-old was everywhere. He gave Chelsea all sorts of problems throughout the game, and although he failed to score a goal, he was undoubtedly one of the best players on the pitch. Merson has heaped praise on Jesus. He believes the Brazilian makes a huge difference every time he steps on the pitch and claimed that Arsenal are on a different level now thanks to him. He wrote in his column on Sportskida, Gabriel Jesus may not score goals, but he brings so much to the party. He makes a difference on the pitch, and he's taken Arsenal to a different level. If they lose a couple of games, however, people will be looking at him. That's just the way it works. We saw it years ago with Emil Heskey. Everybody loved playing alongside him, but they lost a few games, and his performances came under the microscope. Jesus hasn't just been incredible on his own, he has made all the Arsenal players around him better. The likes of Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard seem to have benefited from the Brazilian's presence, and they have all been sensational this season. Jesus' goal drought is a tiny concern for Arsenal fans. They need his goal to achieve their ambitions this season, and the fact that he has now gone 10 games without scoring is a bit of worrying. However, Jesus is doing everything else perfectly. He is also getting in the right positions, and Arsenal fans will be hoping that it's only a matter of time before he starts scoring again. Aaron Ramsdale absolutely stunned by Ben White. Arsenal star Aaron Ramsdale has told TalkSport how happy everyone in the Gunners camp is with Ben White's England call-up. The Arsenal defender has made the England squad for the upcoming World Cup in Qatar. White is one of the 3 Gunners players who made the cut for the 3 Lions contingent alongside Ramsdale and Bukayo Saka. While Ramsdale and Saka's places were all but assured, White's inclusion was less certain as he was on the fringes of the England team. The £93,000 a week has won just 4 England caps to date. While he went to Euro 2020, he didn't play a game. Nonetheless, White will now get the chance to add to his tally and play at his first major international tournament. Ramsdale, speaking to TalkSport, shared the Arsenal camp's reaction to White's call-up and also lauded his teammates' qualities. He went on to say, I found out today at about 10 to 12 we got a text from Emily, our player liaison. I actually found out that Ben was in the group first and we were all buzzing for him, and it kind of filtered through that me and Bukayo were in as well. The first reaction was, we were just buzzing for Ben White. He's been really impressive, Ramsdale continued. Right back is not his main position, but it's one which he is excelling in at the moment. Obviously, there are a few injuries there in the group at the moment, and him playing so well for Arsenal has helped him. I am made up for him because he shows what type of player he is. He will give his all in any position and dedicate himself to it as well. White is a top talent, and it's great to see him make the England squad for the World Cup. What likely sealed it for him is that he has been impressing at right back this season. With Reece James missing out on the tournament, Southgate now has a player who can feature equally well both in the flank and centrally. Shearer insists Bukayo Saka should start for England at the World Cup. Alan Shearer has told the 11 that Bukayo Saka should definitely start for England on the right of the front 3 at the World Cup, given his form for Arsenal this season. Unsurprisingly, Saka has been named in Gareth Southgate's squad for Qatar. The 21-year-old has played a crucial role in Arsenal's stunning rise to the top of the Premier League table. He has scored 4 goals and contributed 6 assists in 13 league games so far this term. No Arsenal player has had a direct hand in more goals so far in the campaign. He is, however, battling for a spot in a position where England boasts serious depth. Raheem Sterling, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, and Marcus Rashford will also be looking to occupy those wide spots in Southgate's side. However, Shearer is in no doubt that it should be Saka who starts the opening game against Iran. Saka definitely, he told the 11 when asked who he would start on the right of the forward line. He went on to add, great time with Arsenal has proved that he can handle it mentally after what happened to him in the Euros, came back stronger, so for me, definitely on that right side, pace, direct, can create, can score. Saka probably has the strongest claim to start in the forward line. None of Grealish, Foden, Rashford, and Sterling have been involved in more goals in the Premier League this season. He also appears to have struck up a good partnership with Harry Kane, and getting the best out of Kane is going to be crucial in how far England go in the tournament. Of course, there are going to be moments when Southgate rotates. Saka took some to get into the tournament during Euro 2020, but as the summer wore on, the Arsenal man's importance to the side grew and grew. Southgate also likes players he can trust, and he can certainly rely on Saka. The youngster has been outstanding for Arsenal ever since getting a chance in the first team, and he has adapted to the international stage with similar ease. Saliba aiming to be the next Arsenal Frenchman to win the World Cup. William Saliba has made the France squad for the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup after a stunning start to the season at Arsenal. The defender has only just started playing for the Gunners despite being on their books since 2019. His loan spell at Olympique Marseille last season developed him very well, and he is now proving to be one of the trusted Premier League defenders. Arsenal has made him their first choice centre-back alongside Gabriel Jesus, and the Frenchman has never disappointed. Le Bleu has some of the finest defenders around the world, so their manager struggled to name a group for the World Cup. However, Didier Deschamps has named his squad, and Saliba becomes the latest gunner to represent France at the global showpiece. The likes of Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, and Thierry Henry did so before him, and he hopes to emulate their success. He went on to say, of course, I want to be the next Frenchman to do that, like Pierce or Vieira or Henry, said Saliba via the Daily Mail. If I am going to the World Cup, it shows I have had a good start to the season with Arsenal. I have to keep going like this. Saliba has very good examples to learn from as he bids to help France retain their crown in Qatar. The defender has done very well in an Arsenal shirt, and a solid performance at the World Cup will make him one of the finest defenders in the world. Auston Trusty reacts after shock World Cup snub. Arsenal loanee Auston Trusty has spoken out on Twitter after missing out on a place in the United States team for the World Cup. The 24-year-old linked up with the Gunners in summer after they agreed a deal for him in the January transfer window. Trusty signed for Arsenal from Colorado Rapids, but he stayed on loan with the MLS club until July. Almost immediately after arriving, the Gunners loaned Trusty out to Birmingham City for the current season. Apparently, there were reports suggesting his transfer was more of a business opportunity for American owner Stan Kroenke rather than a first-team investment. However, Trusty has taken English football by storm, quickly becoming a fan favorite at St Andrews. He has made 21 appearances for Birmingham, netting 3 goals and delivering several man of the match displays. As a result, Trusty was a contender to make the US national team squad for the tournament in Qatar. However, despite strong calls for his inclusion, Trusty was not named in the final 26-man roster. Plenty of fans were gutted about the news, but the player himself delivered a classy message wishing his compatriots all the best. He tweeted, "Would have loved to be on the plane, but all in God's timing, wishing all the best to the US national team squad in Qatar, make us all proud." Trusty's signing went somewhat under the radar at Arsenal, likely because of his age and position. However, he has been doing very well at Birmingham, and his manager rates him incredibly highly. Trusty has received plaudits throughout his career, with Rapid head coach Robin Fraser hailing his incredible development. Admittedly, Trusty has a tricky job when he returns to Arsenal, with competition in the form of some of the best defenders in world football right now. Nonetheless, it will be exciting to see what his future holds, and Arteta is surely liking what he is seeing from the player. Mikel Arteta drops hint about Arsenal's January transfer plans. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has made it clear that he'd be open to doing business in the January transfer window, as he hinted at not being too happy with the lack of depth in his squad. The Gunners made several changes to their lineup in the Carabao clash against Brighton, and Arteta acknowledged afterwards that the opportunity to sign players in January would need to be looked at. Arsenal have been linked with Mykhaylo Mudryk in recent times, with Fabrizio Romano discussing the North London Giants' interest in the Shakhtar Donetsk attacker in his exclusive Out of Sight column. Arsenal fans will surely view more signings as a matter of urgency, with a lack of goals from the front three a particular concern given how well Erling Haaland has been playing for Manchester City, who are just 2 points behind Arteta's side. When asked about January and whether or no Arsenal will be busy, Arteta said, as quoted by TalkSport, "That's the squad that we have, and we have to utilize in the best possible way, and today we came short, especially because we didn't do what we have to do in both boxes to win a football match. We paid that price. It's the same squad as when we win. I said from day one that we have a short squad because at the end we left some players. It's what we have. If everyone's available and no one is injured, we are okay, but the moment there is, we know what it is. It's nothing new. I think I said it the first day after the transfer window." He added, "We'll have to discuss the opportunities that we have, the capacity that we have for any changes, and be on the market for opportunities, because we don't know what's going to happen in the last game before the World Cup, so it's a lot of options that are open." Arsenal target Mykhaylo Mudryk is the fastest player in the Champions League this season. Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move to sign Shakhtar Donetsk attacker Mykhaylo Mudryk, and the Ukrainian has been showing his class in the Champions League this season. The Gunners have had a sensational campaign so far. They really do look like title contenders, but the big concern everyone has about Mikel Arteta's side is their lack of squad depth. A player like Modric would be fantastic for us. Fabrizio Romano revealed earlier this week that Arsenal, who were heavily linked with a move to sign Modric in the summer transfer window, are still interested in his services. The talented 21-year-old has been on fire for Shakhtar this season, scoring 8 goals and providing 7 assists in just 15 games in all competitions. Modric has really impressed this term, especially in the Champions League. His potential has been described as frightening by Ben Jacobs, and he will be on the short list of a number of clubs in the next 2 transfer windows. UEFA released their list of the fastest players in this season's Champions League. Arsenal loanee Nuno Tavares is 5th on the list with a top speed of 36.2 km per hour, but it's Modric who leads the way with a stunning pace of 36.6. That sort of speed is terrifying for any defender, and he could be a real star at Arsenal, who have a few rapid players themselves. Arsenal set sights on Samuel Chukwueze in a January move. Arsenal are reportedly interested in Villarreal's Samuel Chukwueze and will pursue the attacker in January. According to The Sun, the Gunners will make a move for the 23-year-old in the winter transfer window, but will face competition from fellow Premier League clubs like Everton and Aston Villa. Mikel Arteta is looking to bolster his squad after an outstanding start to the season, in which they have claimed 34 points of a possible 39 and sit first placed in the Premier League. The Gunners have also progressed to the Europa League round of 16, with several first-team players heading to the forthcoming World Cup in Qatar, including Ben White, Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli. The board may need to sign reinforcement to deal with the hectic schedule in the second half of the season and when players return to the club duty. Their current closest competitors, Manchester City, are renowned for their squad depth and ability to rest and rotate players frequently. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.